me tell you how it will be. There's one for you, 19 for me.
Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. So you know that music. That means Bob Loeser, Taxman Bob, as we affectionately call him around here on The Price of Business. He's here in the studios as we are down to the wire, if you will, for 2013. What an incredibly fast-paced year it was. And, Bob, it's hard to believe, but people are already talking about their taxes for, their tax planning for 2014.
Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? Our nation turns its lonely heart to you. This year has gone by probably faster than any year in the past 10 that I can think about.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. It's been a good year overall. But man, I've just been really shocked by, and I say that on a personal level. Like any year, we got our tragedies and our challenges and everything like that. But on personal level, it's been a good year. But I tell you, it's been amazing to see how fast it goes.
I mean, we were just talking about the re-election of the dear president, and now he's been back in for a year now.
Yeah, the great leader.
How times have changed.
The great dear leader. We have to come up with more terms to describe him, as he becomes more and more North Korean-esque.
Mm-hmm. And less popular. He shook Fidel's brother's hand at the funeral yesterday.
Yeah, I saw
that. So now everybody's jumping in arms. He's going to become a communist.
Really? I mean, already?
Right, but
you mean he hadn't been already? And of course, he took selfies while he was there. Did you notice that? He had a camera doing selfies. That's like the weirdest funeral I think I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, a great man, but at the same token.
Yeah, and our producer, Sigmund, pointed out the fact that apparently the translator, the sign language translator wasn't even real. Right. He was not giving accurate, my goodness. So, it's kind of a Saturday Night Live skit. I think, what's her name? Miley Cyrus?
That's right.
That's all it needed. Miley Cyrus, and the thing would have been truly memorable.
Mm-hmm. Well, I actually thought he was giving you the finger. He wasn't giving you sign language. I'm sorry.
The finger is part of sign language.
My misinterpretation there. Sorry there, Kevin.
Oh, man. Anyway, let's talk to something that people can actually do something about, though, which is their tax situation. Talk a little bit about what people are doing right now as they get ready for 2014.
Well, we've got 20 days left in year end. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we're past all the deadlines. Unless you're late, if you're late, you better get with your advisor and get them done ASAP, because particularly if it's federal government, they're going to be coming knocking first with letters and then demands and then maybe levies and liens, etc. So get that taken care of.
And even if your house is a rocking, they're still going to come and knocking, by the way.
That's right.
So don't be thinking you're going to get off just for that.
That's right. And thank you for that editorial comment. And so you want to do your personal planning, and that includes, as we've talked about in the past years, making sure that your last mortgage payment this year, if you need additional deduction, is made maybe on the 29th of December instead of the 2nd of January. That gives you another 29 days of interest. Mm-hmm. That would be deductible if you need it. If your mortgage payment's $1,500 and $1,300 of it is interest, then you're talking about possibly saving $300-400.
Wow.
There's some of your Christmas gifts paid for.
Wow.
All right. In addition, clean out the garage, the closets, charitable donations. You want to give at fair market value. So if a shirt costs you or a suit costs you $100, you may want to value it at $20-25. Give it to Goodwill, give it to the thrift shop, etc. Those are deductions also. And then the last, personally related, is property taxes. The property taxes in Texas, Harris County, Fort Bend County, Montgomery County, are not due until January 31st. And your mortgage company, unless you notify them in advance that please make sure you pay my property taxes for 2013 by December 31st, 2013, they'll just keep it in their account until January 29th.
Right.
All right. So with your mortgage payment,
they want the interest, right?
In December, or if you didn't, well, they want to be able to state that on a certain date they had accumulated balances in certain accounts,
sure,
even if they are escrow accounts that they're holding for your taxes. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't, whether it's you bank at Bank of America, take them a letter signed off on and go down and give them paper that says, please pay my taxes by December 31st.
Right.
On a business end, we're still doing a lot of planning for businesses. Where are we? Where, did we have a good year? It was a quiet but good year. And if that's the case, do we, one, pay a bonus to the owners, to the staff? Do we go profit sharing plan? Do we go possibly things like pre-tax 401ks, which are beneficial that, yes, they're coming out of your paycheck that you earned, but they're also deferred. And if you're at a 30% tax bracket, if you could defer $20,000 at 30%, that's a $6,000 savings. In effect, you're not funding $20,000 of a retirement. You're only funding $14,000 because the government is chipping in their $6,000 check that you would have had to write had you not done something like that.
That's right.
And then adding things like new purchases, new equipment. Okay. Now, side note to people that are doing improvements on the house. Several of the tax credits went away at the end of 2012, the energy credits and the solar credits and those types of things. And I'm still getting questions saying, "Hey, Bob, we're thinking about adding an air conditioning unit and doing whatever and spending $17,000. I get a 20% credit on that, right?" No, not anymore. You get the sales tax on those purchases, those large purchases, but you no longer get the credits. Those are some of the things that, again, the fiscal cliff last year, and everyone said, you're not going to notice the difference. You're starting to notice as you ask those questions about, we want to replace the air conditioning unit, I do get a credit, and the answer now is no, where
Nope.
a year ago it was a yes.
Yep, absolutely. Speaking of the whole fiscal cliff, with a couple of minutes we have left, talk a little bit about what your thoughts are. I'm sure you saw this week that the chairman of the House Budget Committee and the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, are saying they're going to have a deal that's going to last 2 years.
It was nice for them to say nice things about each other without reminding themselves that, ooh, he's a Democrat, or a Republican, ooh, she's a Democrat.
Right.
I think it's like a hangnail.
Yeah.
We got the hangnail cut. Yes, we're not going to go over the fiscal cliff. No, we're not going to have any issues in particular, but you still have a lot to address. I mean, 85 billion. I mean, compared to 17 trillion is what?
Right.
I
think they call that a drop in a hat, right?
1/10 of 1%.
Right. A real small drop in a very large bucket.
Right. And the tax increases are not tax increases; they're fees on airlines and buses and whatnot.
That's right.
I mean, you won't notice. Is it like that new tax when we built the stadium here in Houston, the hotel tax? $9 here, $9 there.
Next thing you know, you're talking real money.
Exactly.
All right, you know why we have him on. Very informative taxman Bob. You can learn more about him by emailing him at taxmanbob@pdq.net. That's taxmanbob@pdq.net. Your number?
713-953-1272. 713-953-1272. And I'd like to wish everybody a happy and safe and healthy holiday season.
Very good. Thank you. When we come back, more for you right here on The Price of Business.